Yogi. Welcome to this edition of the Ecstasy of Life podcasts. We shall continue from where we left off in the Krishnamurti podcast with Samyogi, where there were 95 episodes. So this will be the 96th episode, but the first in a series of podcasts under a show which we have titled The Ecstasy of Life with Sam Yogi. Today, let's take a deeper look into a concept introduced by Krishnamurti, where he clearly shows the following. He shows that people have created out of God, or rather out of scriptures, since time immemorial, their concept of God and truth. Based on these concepts and these scriptures, which again are concoctions of the human mind, human beings have come up with values which are ethical, moral, spiritual, philosophical, psychological. These values are man-made and with time become fossilized as truth. So what happens is when one has to do something, one decides based on these benchmarks whether one's action is ethical, moral, spiritual, socially correct, legal, or what have you. Now, this necessitates a constant fight in one's mind, a constant battle between what is right and what is wrong, which Krishnamurti calls choice. You will ask, what do you mean? I know that this is right or this is wrong, so I do what is right. Where is choice involved in that? Choice is involved when I have to choose between 2 or 3 options, but the option is clear. This is right or this is wrong. So there is nothing like choice. But Krishnamurti has a deeper insight into this. He says that it is a constant struggle in your mind to adhere to the societal values, the spiritual values, the religious dicta, because you may not want to always do that, to do something, but the society demands it. For example, you may have no real desire in India to worship the idol, because you may have seen and then developed a distaste for example, pouring milk over a Shivalinga and thus wasting precious milk and throwing it down the gutter, which could have fed a little child going hungry on the streets. But the religious dicta state that this is meritorious. So you are torn between this or that, and that necessitates on your part to put in effort to go this way or that way. And mostly, if you have been brought up in an Indian situation with a fear for gods like Shiva, you will go with pouring milk over a stone statue or a stone structure which you call a Shiva Linga. Now you see how choice needs struggle, effort. It is the same with everything that you do. You see a beautiful woman, for example, she is married. Should you look at her biologically or should you not? Oh no, it is wrong to look at a married woman like that. Thou shalt not lust, is what the Christian scripture says. But you want to look because she is so attractive. Now, that's a fight. That's a struggle that requires you to make a choice. And you do make a choice. Either you look or you don't look. Now, as opposed to such actions which are full of struggle and strife and effort, Krishnamurti suggests that there is an action which is not based on such social dicta, such false, if you will, values, but which is based on clarity. And that clarity can come only when you have destroyed your prejudice, your conditioning. Let's take the example of pouring milk over the Shiva Linga. Once you are highly educated, or if you come across a guru like Samyogi, this podcaster has come across in the form of his Vedanta guru, Swami Niranjanji Maharaj. Once, for example, if you come across, and Samyogi has asked Swami Niranjanji about Shiva and Parvati, and has been told that ultimately this god, this goddess, is kalpita, imagined. So with this added knowledge, the prejudice breaks that Shiva needs to be appeased by pouring milk. So once that prejudice breaks, that is no longer a barrier for Sam. He is clear. And there isn't a question of whether I should pour milk or not pour milk. There is clarity. And this is what Krishnamurti calls choiceless action. Now let's take the American example of thou shalt not lust. A beautiful woman is passing by. She is married. Do you look or do you look away?